Listen to this pastor break down why it's so important to pledge allegiance to the United States of America if you're going to live here.
There's a reason why American citizens should pledge our allegiance to the flag that represents our nation. One nation under God. You know why the borders should not be open? I ain't running for nothing. I ain't looking for nobody's vote. I'm not in anybody's party. I don't need it. I'm free. I work for Jesus. The reason the borders need to be closed is because when you come into a sovereign nation and you don't pledge your allegiance, it's treasonous. Yes. When borders are open for anybody just to walk in and they are not required to pledge their allegiance and to give a commitment to one nation. So the first problem when they don't pledge their allegiance and they come across the border, they bring their own nation with them. So instead of America being one nation, we become 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 different nations. And you're sowing division and discord into this nation because the people have never made a pledge to understand that even though we come from every nation, when we're here, we're one nation.
This pastor is tapping into a spiritual reality here that I think is very, very important. The more people that we allow to come across our border without requiring them to raise their hand and pledge their allegiance to this nation and disavow allegiance to all other nations, we cannot survive with that because it is sowing division in the nation. One of the principles of immigration from times past in America has always been that if you're going to come into America, you're going to be vetted. And number one, you have to be able to add to America. You have to be able to contribute to our society, to the economy. So they wouldn't just let anybody come in. You had to actually have skills that you could contribute with. But number two, there was a spiritual factor as well. I don't know if you're aware of this, but at one time, you couldn't even qualify as an immigrant coming to America unless you were a Christian, unless you were from a Christian heritage, even a Christian country. That's why until recent years, there was virtually no Muslims in America because for the history of our nation, we did not allow them in because we knew that they would not be able to assimilate. But what have we done? We have opened up the borders and we have allowed refugees and we've allowed Muslims in particular to pour into Western nations. They're not intent on assimilating. They don't want to assimilate. In fact, from their own words, they want to dominate and subvert the culture of the West, and it's never going to work. But if we don't deal with this issue of division and even understand it from a spiritual, biblical perspective, I do not believe that nations like America, Western nations, can survive this. Why? Because once again, going back to what Abraham Lincoln said when he quoted Jesus during the Civil War, a house divided against itself cannot stand.